Hello and welcome to your own channel Geostars. Today we are going to discuss class 8 chapter 3 minerals and power resources second part, that is power resources. As we have earlier discussed about the first part of this chapter, that is mineral resources. If you have not gone through the first part of this chapter, the link of the video is provided in the description box. So do view it to have a better understanding. And before we proceed, if you haven't yet subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel by pressing bell button for further notification. So before we begin, we will first have a look as to what are the topics which we have already covered in part 1, mineral resources. In part 1, we have discussed about atoms, molecules, elements, compounds, minerals, rocks, types of rock, characteristics of mineral, difference between minerals and ores. Then further, we had an in-depth discussion regarding importance of mineral, chemical properties, physical properties, extraction of mineral, modes of occurrence of minerals, word distribution of mineral, distribution of minerals in India, hazards related to mining, and methods to conserve minerals. And today in second part, we will be discussing about power resources, where we will discuss about classification of energy resources, then conventional sources, that is firewood, coal, petroleum, natural gas. After conventional sources, non-conventional sources like solar energy, wind energy, nuclear power, geothermal energy, tidal energy, and biogas energy. Now we have already discussed that minerals are naturally occurring elements or compounds with an orderly internal structure, characteristics, chemical composition, crystal form, and physical properties. These minerals can be divided into three groups, that is metallic, non-metallic, and energy mineral or conventional energy resources and also non-conventional energy sources. So now what is power resources? Power resources actually means the sources of energy available to us for driving machineries in industry, fuel in the transport sector. It provides light and heat for domestic and industrial use. Basically, power or energy plays a vital role in our lives. With the advent of science and technology, our lifestyle have changed very fast. Today, we need power for industry, agriculture, transport, communication, and defense. These power resources can be broadly categorized into two groups. One is conventional and another is non-conventional sources. Conventional sources of energy are the natural energy resources which are present in a limited quantity and are being used for a long time. For example, firewood, cattle dung cake, coal, petroleum, natural gas, and electricity, both hydel and thermal. Whereas non-conventional sources of energy are those energy sources that are continuously replenished by natural process. They are also called as renewable energy sources. Example, solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, biogas, and atomic energy. We have made the comparison on different bases like meaning, exhaustibility, pollution, use, and expense. Now let's see about the meaning. Now, conventional sources of energy are those sources that are commonly used for long time, whereas non-conventional sources of energy refers to the sources that are identified few decades ago. If we talk about exhaustibility, so conventional sources of energy can be exhausted due to overconsumption, but the non-conventional sources of energy cannot be exhausted. Now, if we talk about the pollution, so conventional sources of energy pollute environment on a large scale and adds to global warming, whereas non-conventional sources of energy are environment friendly. Now, according to the use, conventional sources of energy are primarily used for industrial and commercial purpose, whereas non-conventional sources are used for domestic purposes. If we talk about the expense, so conventional sources of energy are costly, but the non-conventional sources of energy are comparatively less expensive. Now we will try to have in-depth knowledge about conventional and non-conventional energy resources in detail. Conventional energy resources includes firewood, cattle dung, coal, petroleum and natural gas. Now, firewood and cattle dung cake is widely used for cooking and heating in rural areas where about 70% energy need is met. Firewood and cattle dung cake is easy to access. It provides energy to a large number of people, but at the same time, its collection is time consuming, creates pollution, promotes a greenhouse effect, and leads to deforestation. So, though firewood and cattle dung is easy to access, but due to decreasing forest area, it is difficult to use firewood as a fuel in future. Similarly, dung cake can be put to better use in the form of manure, so its use is also discouraged. Now, coal. Coal is the most abundantly available fossil fuel in India. It helps to meet our commercial energy requirement. It is used as domestic fuel in industries such as iron and steel industry, steam engines, and to generate electricity. It is also called as black gold because it is black in color and it is costly too. There are two methods to mine coal, one is surface and another is underground. Now, the formation of coal took millions of years to be formed. Actually, coal was formed when giant ferns and swamps died and got buried under the layers of earth, mud, and rock, where due to high temperature and pressure, coal was formed over millions of years. Therefore, coal is also referred to as buried sunshine. Depending on the degree of compression, depth, and time of burial, there are different varieties of coal. First is anthracite coal. This is the highest quality of hard coal. Carbon content is 80 to 90%. In India, it is found only in Jammu Kashmir and that too in very small quantity. Second is bituminous. It has a low level of moisture content with 60 to 80% of carbon content. Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh have deposit of bituminous. Third is lignite. It carries 40 to 55% carbon content and is often brown in color with high moisture content, thus gives smoke when burned. It is found in Rajasthan, Lakhimpur, and Tamil Nadu. Next and last is peat, which carries 40% carbon content only. It is the first stage of transformation from wood to coal with very low calorific value. So, though presently coal is extensively available and we can presently efficiently convert into electricity, but we cannot ignore that it is also a polluting source and is bulky to transport. Presently, top leading coal producers of coal in the world are China, India, United States, Indonesia, Australia, Germany, Russia, and France. In India, coal producing areas are Singrauli, Bokaro, Jharia, Raniganj, Korba, Talcher, Singareni, Nevli, and Dhanbad. Next is petroleum. After coal, petroleum or mineral oil is the next major energy resource. The word petroleum is derived from Latin words that is petra and oleum, where petra means rock whereas oleum means oil. So petroleum means rock oil. Petroleum refineries act as a nodal industry for synthetic textile, fertilizer and numerous chemical industries. Petroleum provides raw material for various manufacturing industries like plastic, textile, pharmaceuticals, etc. If we talk about the formation of petroleum, so petroleum was also formed 300 to 400 million years ago when tiny sea plants and animals died and were buried on the ocean floor. Over times they were covered by layers of silt and sand, and over millions of years the remains were buried deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned them into oil and gas. And today we drill down through layers of sand, silt, and rock to reach the rock formation that contain oil and gas deposit. Actually, petroleum is found between the layers of rock and is drilled from oil fields located in offshore and coastal areas. This is then sent to refineries which process the crude oil and produce a variety of products like diesel, petrol, kerosene, wax, plastic, and lubricants. Now, the chief petroleum producing countries in the world are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The other major producers are USA, Russia, Venezuela, and Algeria. In India, Mumbai High produces about 63% of India's petroleum. Gujarat produces 18% and Assam 13%. Ankaleshwar is the most important oil field in Gujarat. Assam is the oldest oil producing state of India. Important oil fields of Assam are Digboi, Neherkatia, and Moran Hogrijan. Now, advantages of petroleum. Petroleum is easier to transport. It is basis of petrochemical industry, but there are many disadvantages too, like depletion of oxygen due to oil spillage and gas leakage. Pollutants are released which causes acid rain, and exploration of new fuel is not easy. Natural gas. Natural gas is an important clean energy resource found along with or without petroleum. It is released when crude oil is brought to the surface. It can be used as domestic and industrial fuel. Natural gas is considered an environment friendly fuel because of low carbon dioxide emission and is therefore the fuel for the present century. It is used as fuel and also as an industrial raw material. Natural gas is mainly used by the fertilizer and power industry. Nowadays, use of CNG, that is compressed natural gas, is increasing as vehicle fuel in the country. Very few countries in the world have sufficient natural gas reserves of their own. That is Russia, Venezuela, Algeria, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Norway, UK, and Netherlands are the major producers of natural gas. In India, large reserves of natural gas have been discovered in Krishna Godavari Basin, Gulf of Cambay, Mumbai High, and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Now, there are several advantages of natural gas. It is easier to transport, cleaner than oil and coal, and cheaper than oil. Electricity. Electricity is a common form of energy and used for commercial as well as for domestic purpose. It is mainly utilized in electrical appliances like fridge, TV, washing machine, and air conditioner. The major sources of power generation are thermal power, hydroelectric power, and nuclear power. Thermal power is generated by using fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. It is influenced by the availability of the fuel. With the establishment of National Thermal Power Corporation, that is NTPC, in 1975, thermal energy has recorded much faster growth rate in both aspects, that is installed capacity and actual generation, than its hydro and nuclear counterparts. More than 65% of India's electricity generation capacity comes from thermal power plants. Hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power is produced by constructing dams above flowing rivers like Damodar Valley Project and Bhakra Nagal Project. One-fourth of the world's electricity is produced by hydel power. Norway was the first country in the world to develop hydroelectricity. Let's see how is hydroelectricity generated. First of all, rainwater or river water stored in dams is made to fall from heights. The falling water flows through pipe inside the dam over turbine blades placed at the bottom of the dam. The moving blades then turn the generator to produce electricity. The leading producers of hydel power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil, and China. Some important hydel power stations in India are Bhakra Nagal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar, and Damodar Valley Project. Now let's have a look as to what is the difference between thermal electricity and hydroelectricity. Thermal electricity is generated by using coal, petroleum, and natural gas, whereas hydroelectricity is generated by fast flowing water which turns turbine to produce electricity. Thermal electricity uses non-renewable fossils, whereas hydroelectricity uses renewable water resources for generating electricity. Now, thermal electricity causes pollution due to burning of fossil fuels, whereas hydroelectricity is a pollution-free form of energy. Thermal electricity is not a permanent source of energy, whereas hydroelectricity is a permanent source of electricity. Thermal electricity accounts for about 70% of the total production of electricity in India, whereas hydroelectricity accounts for 25% total electricity produced in India. Now we will try to understand different non-conventional energy resources. Non-conventional energy resources are sources that are renewable. They are continuously replenished by natural process. For example, solar energy, wind energy, bioenergy, and hydropower, etc. Though hydropower is a renewable energy resource, but we have discussed it in detail prior, as they are though renewable but are commercially used as petroleum, coal, or natural gas. Non-conventional energy resources are presently very important, as with the rapid development, the conventional energy resources are depleting at an alarming rate due to sharp increase in the consumption of fossil fuel. Besides this, these fossil fuels release large amount of toxic pollutants when burned. So it is important to check the use of these fossil fuels else it will soon run up. So in order to conserve the non-conventional sources of energy, it is important to switch to cleaner sources, that is non-conventional sources of energy. Therefore, there is an urgent need for using non-conventional sources such as solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, which are renewable. Let's discuss these resources in detail. First is nuclear power. Nuclear power is obtained from energy stored in nuclei of the atoms of naturally occurring radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. These fuels undergo nuclear fission in nuclear reactor and emit power. The greatest producers of nuclear power are USA and Europe. In India, Rajasthan and Jharkhand have largest deposit of uranium. Thorium is found in large quantities in the monazite sands of Kerala. The nuclear power stations in India are located in Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan, Narora in Uttar Pradesh, and Kega in Karnataka. Solar energy. Solar energy refers to the energy generated by sun. It can be harnessed directly or indirectly for human use. Solar panels are mounted on the rooftops to generate electricity. Actually, the solar panel absorbs the energy from sun, creating direct current, that is DC electricity. The electricity is fed into what is called a solar inverter. This converts the current into alternating current, that is AC electricity. The AC current is then used to power the appliances in your home. There are many advantages of solar power. Solar power is pollution free and causes no greenhouse gas to be emitted after installation. Solar panels clean up our air. Solar panels help keep our home powered during blackouts. Solar energy benefits in the tropical countries as they are blessed with abundance of sunshine. Today, solar energy is used in solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers. It is used for community lighting, traffic lights, and even today as a fuel for ferry transport. China leads the world as the top producer of solar energy. The United States, India, Japan, Vietnam rank next on the list of top solar producers. In September 2016, Diu became the first city in India to run completely on solar energy during the day. India is the first Asian country to have established a solar pond in Bhuj in Gujarat. Wind energy. Wind energy is an inexhaustible source of energy. It is an alternative to fossil fuel, widely distributed and cleaner fuel which produces no green gas emission during operation. Windmills have been used for grinding grain and lifting water since times immemorial. In modern time windmills, the high speed winds rotate the windmill, which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. Wind farms having clusters of such windmills are located in coastal region and in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. Top wind energy producing countries in the world are China, USA, Germany, India, and Spain. Beside these countries, noted wind farm energy producing countries are Netherlands, Denmark, UK, and Spain. The site of world's first solar and wind power bus shelter is in Scotland. Tamil Nadu from Nagarcoil to Madurai is the largest wind farm cluster in India. Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra, and Lakshadweep are also important centers of wind power production. Nagarcoil and Jaisalmer are well known for effective use of wind energy in the country. Geothermal energy. Heat energy obtained from the earth is called geothermal energy. Geothermal energy refers to the heat and electricity produced using the heat from the interior of the earth. As we go deeper and deeper in the earth, it becomes hotter and hotter. In depth, the geothermal gradient is high. As a result, high temperatures are found at shallow depths. Groundwater in such area absorb heat from the rocks and become hot. It is so hot that when it rises to the earth's surface, it turns into steam. Let's see how geothermal energy is generated. Geothermal power plant actually use steam to produce electricity. This steam comes from the reservoir of hot water found a few miles or more below the earth's surface. The steam rotates a turbine that activates a generator which produce electricity. World distribution of geothermal energy. USA has the world's largest geothermal power plant, followed by New Zealand, Iceland, Philippines, and Central America. Distribution of geothermal energy in India. In India, geothermal plants are located in Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh and Puga Valley in Ladakh. Tidal energy. Oceanic tides can be used to generate electricity. Energy generated from tides is called tidal energy. It can be harnessed by building dams at narrow openings of the sea. How is tidal energy generated? Floodgates are built across inlets. During high tide, the water flows into the inlet. The water gets trapped when the gate is closed, and once the tide recedes, the gates are open so that water can flow back to the sea. The flow of water is used to turn the turbine to generate electricity. Russia, France have huge tidal mill farms. The first tidal energy station was built in France. In India, the Gulf of Khambat, the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat on the western coast, and Gangetic Delta in Sundarban regions of West Bengal provide ideal conditions for utilizing tidal energy. Biogas energy. Biogas, naturally occurring gas that is generated by the breakdown of organic matter by anaerobic bacteria and is used in energy production. Biogas differs from natural gas as biogas is a renewable energy source produced biologically through anaerobic digestion rather than a fossil fuel produced by geological process. Biogas is primarily composed of methane gas, carbon dioxide, and trace amount of nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon monoxide. Biogas can be produced from shrubs, farm waste, animal, and human waste. Decomposition of organic matter yield gas. It has higher thermal efficiency in comparison to kerosene, dung cake, and charcoal. Biogas plants can be set up at municipal, cooperative, and individual levels. The biogas plant using cattle dung are known as Gobar gas plant in rural India. These plants provide twin benefits to the farmer. First is in the form of energy, and second is improved quality of manure. It also prevents the loss of trees and manure during the burning of fuel wood and cow dung cakes. Now, how is biogas energy generated? Organic waste such as dead plant, animal material, animal dung, and kitchen waste can be converted into a gaseous fuel called biogas. The organic waste is decomposed by bacteria in biogas digesters to emit biogas. It is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. Biogas is an excellent fuel for cooking and lighting and produces huge amount of organic manure each year. Now, uses of biogas. It is used as domestic fuel for street lighting, generating of electricity, and if compressed, it can replace compressed natural gas for use in vehicles. Now, advantages of biogas plant. It reduces burden on the forest and fossil fuel, produces a clean fuel, helps in controlling air pollution, controls water pollution by decomposing sewage, animal dung, and human excreta. There are several advantages of biogas as a fuel. It has high calorific value, clean fuel, no residue is produced, no smoke is produced, it is non-polluting, economical, can be supplied through pipelines, burns readily and has a convenient ignition temperature. Now, after looking at the conventional and non-conventional energy resources, let's have a look as to why we should conserve the energy resources and what are the different ways of conserving power resources. Presently, energy is a basic requirement for economic development. Today, every sector of national economy needs energy. As a result, consumption of energy in all forms has been steadily rising all over the country. Therefore, there is an urgent need to develop a sustainable path of energy development. There are different ways to conserve power resources, like we should use energy efficient equipment, we should use alternative sources of energy, use of public transportation system should be promoted, we should switch off the electricity when it is not required, and we should make people aware about the importance and conservation of power resources. With this, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you would have enjoyed and liked the video. If you have liked the video, do press the like button and share the video so as to help others. And if not subscribed the channel, do subscribe the channel by pressing bell buttons. So at the end, I would like to say, your energy is currency. Spend it well, invest it wisely. With this, stay safe, take care, stay healthy. Thank you so much.